In the stillness of dawn, when the world holds its breath and the sun barely brushes the edge of the sky, a moment of truth emerges. Not for all of humanity, but for the individual. These quiet moments are when destinies begin to take shape. It was during times like these that the Stoics would rise, not for glory, not for riches, but for duty. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do, taught Epictetus. In that single sentence lies the essence of Stoic philosophy. Great fortunes and great legacies are rarely built on luck. They are forged through clarity of thought, discipline, and unwavering action. History remembers names like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, not because of their wealth or possessions, but because of their impact. Their influence transcended generations because they understood one powerful truth: the one who masters himself masters everything. True power is not in owning gold, but in not being enslaved by desire, fear, greed, anger. These are the real chains. The wealthy man is not the one who owns the most, but the one who has broken free from those inner shackles. Seneca wrote, "Poverty is not a hardship if you are content with what you have." So ask yourself, who is truly rich? The one who constantly seeks more, or the one who needs less? But the Stoic does not reject success. He does not shy away from action. On the contrary, he moves with resolve. What he does reject is being ruled by outcomes. He acts because it is right to act. He gives his full effort, yet accepts the results with calm detachment. That is the path to the highest form of wealth. Not external, but internal. Imagine the cold morning air stinging your skin, the silence before your first step. You stand before a choice: follow the crowd or follow the quiet law within. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, once wrote in his private journal, "Let nothing distract you from reason and justice." To live in harmony with yourself is to remain true even when the path is hard, even when surrender would be easier than honesty. Truly successful people, those rich in character, walk the road of inner integrity. They do not chase approval. Their way is not paved with flattery or comfort, but with challenge and personal courage. True nobility is rising above circumstance, said Seneca. That's what separates the Stoic from the rest. He is not the victim of the world. He is its craftsman. He doesn't hide from pain. He transforms it. He doesn't chase applause, but his name endures because he lived by higher standards. Discipline is the foundation, not the shine of outer success, but the polish of inner refinement. The Stoic does not wait for inspiration. He does not chase motivation. He simply does the work. Because he knows every morning is a battle, every day is a test of the spirit. Success does not come suddenly. It comes to those who shape themselves relentlessly, like a blacksmith forging iron into steel. Greatness begins in thought. How you think is how you live. Epictetus reminded us, it is not things that disturb us, but our opinion of them. Wealth begins not in vaults, but in the mind. You may lose your home, your friends, your country, but if your mind remains strong, if you know who you are and why you live, then you've lost nothing. Success is resilience. It is the capacity to remain whole when everything else is crumbling. It is the clarity in the storm, the steadiness in chaos. The most successful people are those who have mastered themselves, who see adversity not as punishment, but as opportunity, who do not search for comfort, but for what is right. The Stoic does not flee pain. He learns from it. He grows through it. Just as steel is tempered by fire, the human spirit is strengthened by trial. That is why Stoics taught, do not ask for life to be easy. Ask for the strength to endure what comes. True wealth is not stored in bank vaults. It is the ability to wake up in any place, under any condition, and be ready to do what is needed, without complaining, without fear, Without hesitation, you cannot control the world, but you can control yourself. And that is true power. That is why Stoicism is the path of the truly strong, not those who shout, but those who act. Not those who dream idly, but those who will their way forward. To be rich means to be calm in any storm. Wealth is, above all, the art of self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Strength is not about ruling others, it is about ruling yourself. Wisdom is not avoiding hardship, it is walking through it with dignity. This is how the great ones live. This is how success is born." The Stoic doesn't wish for an easy journey. He is prepared for struggle. He knows every ascent demands effort, and he is willing to pay the price. With each step, he becomes stronger, freer, deeper. He understands that true success is not a prize, but a process, not a destination, but a path. Not luck, but the fruit of daily practice. The practice of thought, of discipline, of self-command. A truly rich person does not envy. He knows another's path is not his own. Seneca once said, "A happy person is one who is satisfied with themselves, not someone who looks good to others." What does Stoicism give us? Inner strength. Confidence not born from applause, but from principle. Calm that does not rely on the weather. This is wealth that cannot be taken away because it was never external to begin with. You want success? Begin with your thoughts. Put your mind in order and the world will follow. You want wealth? Learn to master your impulses. Conquer yourself, and you will conquer all. Act as the great ones act. Do not wait. Do not waver. Do today what leads toward your purpose, not for praise, not for reward, but because you have chosen to live by virtue. Character is forged in action. Strength is found in simplicity. Greatness is born of self-control. Then you will be truly rich, because you will be the master of your life, not a prisoner of circumstance. The world will change. The winds will blow in all directions. But the Stoic stands firm. He knows who he is. He knows what he wants. He knows what he's willing to fight for. He does not yield. He does not betray his purpose. These people do not shout. They do not crave attention. But when they enter a room, their presence is felt, because within them is depth. Within them is a core. Within them is something that cannot be faked. Think and act like them. Not for status, but for integrity. Not for fame, but for truth. And then, you will become one of them. Real, resilient, rich, free. This is the way of the Stoic, the way of the strong,